that banner and welcome. Travis Thomas here, and you know I'm not rolling solo. It's me. It's you, my co-host, and I appreciate you always. And we're rolling with the walking, talking, triple-double himself, Ountae Campbell. I have funny stories to share with you all about Ountae Campbell, so we'll start right here. We went to the tradition at the Sports Museum together. Ountae Campbell, don't you lie to the people. True or false? As soon as we walked in, passed through security, got our credential, you ran up on D Brown like he owed you money. Tell the truth, Ountae. Tell the truth.
Oh, why are you lying, Travis? To these fine people, man. That was you. Y'all had that bald head connection. It was telepathy. Y'all just knew each other was in the building, and you ran right up on him.
I ran right up on D Brown. Listen, D Brown could feel me breathing on the back of his neck. I was so close, waiting on him to turn. He was like, remember Ountae? I think he was signing some autographs or something, taking pictures, shaking hands, kissing babies. He turned around. I was right here, on him.
Yeah,
right here.
We have some photos of us that here's
look at him
with us with D Brown.
We was clean too.
Suited and booty. Yeah, I think D was dressed the best out of the three of us. But
no doubt,
he's the star of the night, so can't be mad about that. Man, and then you met up with somebody who had a banner dress.
Yo, can I? All right, give me a minute here, Ountae.
Okay, go ahead. Talk your talk.
So, me and this woman talked for like 20 minutes about how she makes dresses, sports dresses and custom pieces that revolve around sports. So as you can see here, Greg, I don't know if you could get any closer to that, but she's wearing a Celtics banner. And I was like, listen, I do a show called Hold My Banner.
Look at the title.
We must get a picture together. And not only that, I gave her my card with my contact info. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? I hope she reaches out to me. If you're watching or you're listening or you know this woman, send her this clip because I need her to come on the show and talk to me about making these. She told me she has all kinds of dresses around the Celtics and the Patriots and the Red Sox, a Stanley Cup dress, the whole nine. So please, if you're listening, come on the show. We would love to talk to you. I thought this was the most creative thing I saw all night.
It was dope, and it was also dope seeing our boy George Bilecki.
Oh, look at George, Boston George.
Yes, sir. He came in suited and booted as well, man. Cleaned up real nice. GB was in the house. It was a family affair.
Yes, it was a family affair there at the tradition, and we appreciate them for having us. I hope we get to go for many more years.
Yeah.
The family affair ended though after the event. Ountae, George, and I went out to dinner, and that was not PG-13. That was more. That was.
All we did was eat, man. Like, what are you talking about?
we were just so reckless. Like we were eating, but we were also having a good time too. But it was fun, man. It was great. I just hope. By the way, D Brown did say to us, and he said it on the show here. Yeah. So there's tape. He said, "I had fun. I want to come back on." And I said, D, that's great to hear. We will be holding you to that because we definitely going to invite him back soon.
100%.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry. All right, we'll bring Ountae back later on. You know he's going to poke holes in whatever rant I have cooked up for you. And you know where I want to start, don't you? I mean, look, my takeaways from that Cavs-Celtics game, that was so great. It just felt like the Celtics were sending a message to the rest of the Eastern Conference, including the Cavaliers. Like, when we're dialed in, when we're locked in, there's nothing any of you can do with us. None of you can beat us. We are better than you. And it's just that simple. I'm sure none of us were surprised that the Celtics won the game. I guess my biggest takeaway was just, boy, they are playing some great defense on Darius Garland. But if Darius Garland, even with that defense, plays a little bit better, I mean, we could be having a different conversation. By the way, it wasn't the greatest game we saw from Jaylen Brown either. Defensively, he was good, but offensively, not his best game. So there were a couple little, I'll call them X factor kind of question marks in that game. And my takeaway was I would love to see this as a 7-game series. Now, the reality is the rest of the teams in the East aren't, It's nothing to write home about anyway. And we talked about that on the show before that game, how this felt like the shape of things to come in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be Cavs. It's going to be Celtics. We know the Knicks are viable. I'm not really willing to give it to anyone else at this moment. When Paolo comes back, I'm curious to see how the Magic sort of, if they can elevate in that next step. But I'm comfortable right now, this early in the season, saying that it feels like it's going to be Celtics-Cavs. And I think it's good for the Celtics to do what they did against the Cavs and sort of send that message that when we are locked in, there's nothing you can do. It was typical Celtics. It was like everyone's looking and saying how great the Cavs are, and the Celtics are just sitting back. Oh, you think they're good? Okay, no problem. That they're unbeaten, that unbeaten streak. Yeah. No, that's cool. Watch this. And then they go out and they win the game. Great game, but they win the game. How about Jayson Tatum? In that game alone, I thought Jayson Tatum had an MVP moment, an MVP performance. In that game, 33 points, 12 boards, 7 dimes. And here's the biggest part about that game. Tatum took over. He took over the game. By the way, he closed the game. I think going shot for shot with Donovan Mitchell, who, by the way, we can't just gloss over this. Donovan Mitchell, in that game, unbeaten Cavs, he's got a case. He's got some motion on MVP, doesn't he? Unbeaten team. The guy had 35 points against the Celtics. 35 points, big stage, all the chips on the table. I'm the best player on the best team. We haven't lost. Donovan Mitchell had motion. And what did Tatum do? He was better. He was better, and his team won, and he guided that. That was an MVP moment. Those will present themselves as the season goes on. But in this sort of early iteration of the season, this was the first real MVP moment. And Jayson Tatum did what he's supposed to do. He did what MVPs do. Stole the spotlight. I'm ready. Let's go. Give it here. What do we talk about in the playoffs with him? Well, Jaylen Brown's being the man, right? Regular season, let's give him some credit here early on. MVP moment, unbeaten Cavs who have all the momentum. You're at home. Is it going to be your night? Yes, it was. Just like we saw, if you think about it, in recent winners, the Joker, Embiid. I even got to give Embiid credit. I never like to, but Giannis. There were moments throughout their regular seasons where they had to be big. They had to rise to the occasion. They had to be great. Spotlights on. And they showed up. That's all you can ask from an MVP. Jayson Tatum right now, to me, looks like the MVP of the league. Look around. He looks like the MVP of the league. Now, Vegas, just for reference here, Tatum is currently plus 425 for MVP. So 4-1 to be MVP. The favorites, 2 guys ahead of him, both the Joker and SGA are at 2-1. So Vegas is telling you, there is no MVP fatigue when it comes to Jokic. The guy could win it every year, and he might, right? And then obviously SGA, who we saw really take that ascension last season and get into that rarefied air of even talking MVP. He's in it, and he's staying in it. He's for real. He has staying power. He has sustainability, SGA. So you have Joker and SGA who aren't going anywhere. But to Jayson Tatum's credit, he will have these moments, these spotlight games, these stages, regular season I'm talking, where, okay, all right, you want to be in the MVP? This is where you got to earn it. To his credit, against the Cavs, he did it. So I can't wait. I just want to watch the Cavs-Celtics play out all season long. I just feel like the Celtics are just sending messages all over the Eastern Conference, all over the league. Listen, we get it. We're the champs. You all are coming for us. But when we lock in, there's nothing you can do with us. It's just that simple. When we lock in, no one can beat us. All right, tonight, Caesar in D.C. to take on the Wizards. What do you want me to say? You and I both know what the hell's going to happen. They're going to beat the hell out of the Wizards. Hey, it always goes back to gambling for me, right? Caesar favored tonight by 15 points. So that's telling you right there. Now, my guess is that the Wizards may hang in there and at least cover that number. I mean, look, I've been so critical of both these guys. I can't even believe I'm about to pay them, either one of them, a compliment. But Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma, they're putting up numbers. They're playing well. Those young Wizards, all those young guys, march to the beat of Kuzma and Poole's drum. And to be fair, Kuzma and Poole are putting up numbers. They just don't win anything. They don't win anything. So I think the Celtics will handle their business just like we all do, but it could be closer than a 15-point win. I tell you what, I'm talking all this talk. Let me put some numbers on it. I'll go Celtics 124, Wizards 113. And you know where I'm going, Jayson Tatum. Tatum's going to go off per usual. There's nothing anyone can do with him, including the Wizards. All right, I want to end with this. So Draymond Green. So this happened a few days ago where Draymond Green, we all remember, does like the dirty play. I'm not here to defend him. That was clearly a dirty play he did on the Grizzlies star, Zach Eddy. So what stood out to me that I want to talk to you about was after the game, you know, Draymond does all these podcasts and all this stuff. So after the game, he goes on there and he starts talking reckless about Taylor Jenkins, who's the coach of the Grizzlies. So after the game, post-game, Zach Eddy's hurt. Of course the coach is going to come out, stand up for his guy, Zach Eddy. We get that. Draymond, who's known as being crazy and a dirty player, he takes some shots there. Yes, it was a dirty play, blah, blah, blah. Draymond, just let it go. But he can't do it, can he? He goes on his podcast and he says, Taylor Jenkins is a softie. That's a direct quote. He's a softie. He's too emotional. And I thought about this. I said, you know, Draymond is the last of a dying breed in the NBA. Think about this. I don't know. Our audience, the age ranges are all over the place. When I grew up, it was a Bad Boys Pistons. They were the enforcers. Lambeer and Dumars and Isaiah Thomas, all these tough guys. Dennis Rodman, all tough guys. Get in fights, push you around. Then the league kind of moved off of that. But the Bulls took that mantle. We don't care about the bad boys. Punch you right in the mouth. We're winning the titles now. But Jordan's Bulls were physical, tough, get in your face. Jordan himself, get in your face. They had Rodman. There was some intimidation there. Shaq and Kobe. I mean, those were tough teams. But the NBA lately, in recent years, is getting away from all of that. All these guys are so friendly now. Like, they all grew up playing on the same AAU team. They go on vacations together. They hang out. Hey, what are you doing after the game? Let's go, the club and hang out together. It's all so friendly now. And so just hearing Draymond say, oh, this guy's soft. The coach is soft. He's too emotional. I'm like, man, we better enjoy this now because I don't think we'll ever get another bad guy, a villain like Draymond. I just think it's like a lost art almost. I do not believe there's another Draymond coming in this league. I don't. I think the physicality, we're losing physicality every season in the NBA. Each season, it's less and less physical, and it's more skill and speed and scoring and got to get the ratings. Our ratings are down. Uh-oh, we need to score more. I mean, it's just, I love Draymond's enforcer, bad boy attitude. I think the game's going to miss it. I do. I'm not even a big Draymond fan, but I do recognize when he's gone, I think that's the end of an era. So in the words of Tony Montana, say goodnight to the bad guy. You're never going to see one like this again. That's Draymond Green. That wasn't a bad Tony Montana. I just want to pat myself on the back for that one. Hey, want to hear all about Boston sports and Tony Montana? Check out Nesson's Daily Sports Podcast. Boston has entered the chat. You can enter the conversation by tweeting us using the hashtag NessonChat or email us, thechat@nesson.com. Boston has entered the chat is available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, let's bring back Ountae Campbell, who will not only assess my Tony Montana, but he's also going to tell me about my rant. What do you got?
Look, I got to start with Celtics Cavs.
All right.
Here's my thing. The way I see it is that, yes, these two teams are at the top. Yes, it's going to be an interesting 7-game series.
Yes.
But I told you.
What?
When you told me your top 3 teams in the NBA like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I said it doesn't matter what the Cavs are doing. The Celtics are still the best team in the NBA. And we're going to see when this matchup came on Tuesday.
You did.
And when that matchup happened, we saw supremacy. Now, Cavs fans are going to say, okay, we didn't have Okoro, we didn't have Strus. And I'm going to say, fair.
That's fair.
Fair. You're allowed to say that. But my thing is, they don't have KP over here in Boston. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to make excuses for that, you're going to make excuses for that. Yeah. I am excited, though, that both of these teams played that game so closely. I mean, down to 3 points. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Coming into that game, I didn't know what to expect. One day I was like Cavs blowout. Next day I was like Celtics blowout.
You were wishy-washy.
I didn't know what to expect. But, I mean, it was just a positive thing that I think we walked out of there. The Cavs battled back into that game, and that even with DG having an off night, and I'm going to call it an off night because I'm not going to say that the Celtics really did anything.
You have to give some credit defensively. Right. They made life hard for him.
A little bit, but I also do. I remember seeing a lot of shots that he couldn't make. You know what I mean? A lot of wide open good looks that he's been making throughout the season this year that he didn't make. I noticed that he did sit out in the game that they played against the Pelicans after that, with the left groin soreness. So maybe he was a little tweaked up in that game, and that could be a reason why he was missing some shots.
Maybe.
We don't know.
Maybe.
But, I don't expect him to be 3 for 21 the next time that he plays the Celtics either.
No.
So that, it could have went either way. If
from 6 from 3, too.
Right, exactly. So I think this matchup is going to be a good one. I think it's going to be better if both teams are healthy in the playoffs than it was what we got last year.
Yeah. I could see them losing to Cleveland. They go to Cleveland soon.
Yeah.
I could see them losing that game.
Cleveland is legit.
I agree.
They put in the world on notice. Just because they lost by 3, I'm not writing them off saying that they're not legit. I think it would be a great series once again if they're healthy. And once again, they went into the Pelicans. Now, it's hard to blow out anybody in the NBA.
Sure,
I understand that the Pelicans, they're missing some starters, blah, blah, blah. But they missed 2 guys that they started in that game against the Celtics with DG out and with Sam Merrill out well for that game. And they went in there and won by 30. You know what I mean? 28 points.
I'll tell you this, too. I know we're going to move on, so this is the last word on the Cavs.
Yes.
I remember our season preview, and we talked about Kenny Atkinson, of course.
Yes.
But I remember us kind of having the conversation that Mobley might be the X factor there for that team. Now that we're here and we're watching and we have a handful of games here, I'll be honest with you. I still feel that way, obviously, Mobley. But I think Darius Garland is actually the X factor for Cleveland season. Clearly.
I can see that. I still think Mobley is, though, because Mobley was the guy when those two, DG and Darius Garland, and when Donovan Mitchell was struggling in the first half.
Yes.
He was the guy with Craig Porter that was making plays. Now, you don't expect that out of Craig Porter, but you definitely expect that out of Mobley being the third guy, right, offensively for them as a team. So, he showed up and he stepped up, and that's the reason why they were allowed the opportunity to get back in the game in the second half as well. So you have to give him credit for that. So that's why I say he is the X factor. Once again, if DG makes one more 3, 1 for 6, still a terrible night, right? 4 for 21.
Yeah.
It's a tie game
instead. It's a different game. Yeah.
Right. So without Mobley, they would have really got washed. So that's why I say he's still the X factor. And then the last thing, I'm going to move on to your Draymond comments and say this, man. Look. Villains are going to stay in the NBA.
You think?
Yes. And
I don't think so.
And the thing about it is, the reason I say that is because you say, okay, yeah, Draymond's a dying breed. And, maybe Marcus Smart isn't really being as much of a villain as he used to be, right?
Yeah.
But you still have Dylan Brooks trying to be a villain.
Please.
You still have Grant Williams trying to be a villain. Pat Bev, if he was in the league, would still be trying to terrorize and villainize people.
Great players, not Fugazis.
Okay, and I understand what you're saying, but I think people thought the enforcer and all of that stuff was dead a long time ago, and then we got Draymond.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So I think people look up to whoever they look up to. People who are in San Francisco right now are fans of the Warriors, and they're going to grow up loving the hard-nosed nature of Draymond and all this other stuff. And they're going to have kids. And those kids are going to learn from, hey, my dad loved Draymond Green. I might have not knew too much about him, but he showed me these clips and this and that, and he wanted me to be physical and all these other things. And, you know, you have to remember, like what I said with Pat Bev, when I bring up Draymond Green, these dudes were great college players.
Yeah, they were.
And they weren't mean guys like that in college.
Right.
But then the circumstances that they've been brought into shaped them into that type of NBA player. And the same thing with Dylan Brooks, too. So I think that you will have that where guys find that need to survival of the fittest. Yeah. And they say, okay, I got to act a little bit more like Draymond. I got to lean into that role. Because even Jeremy Shohan is one of those dudes, Sochan from the Spurs. He's one of those dudes who came in the league as a French guy. You see him as soft. He's light skinned, whatever. People can make their assumptions about him. Yeah. And you see now, he got the Robin haircut.
He got tired of that.
You know, and now he's fighting dudes.
Yep.
So I think you're going to have more of that as people go into the league, realize, hey, man, if I want to make my money and stay in this league, I got to do that.
All right. Hey, look, before we move on, because I know we're going to another topic, I put my money where my mouth is. I said Celtics 124, Wizards 113. You got to give me a prediction for tonight. I know you have the Celtics. Give me a score. I'm going 124, 113. You see it that way or what?
Yeah, I hate that we're always so similar in our score predictions, but I do see it that way. I see just a little bit more of a spread than you see.
Okay.
I see 127 Celtics, 109 Wizards.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's 6 points. You know, it's not a big difference, but that's just the way I see it. Okay. I think this Celtics team, after having some rest, which they really haven't had a lot of, you know what I mean, 2 days off, 3 days off, whatever, in between games, right? Yeah. So them being rested, getting the opportunity to celebrate with the president, the vice president, and go to the White House and all that other stuff. I think this team is going to take that and be excited, and Joe's going to come off with some crazy quote, and they're going to go out there and they're going to win the game.
Real quick, impromptu style.
Yes.
We did not discuss this, but I'm just thinking. I brought up how I think they could lose in Cleveland. Before they play Cleveland, Ountae.
Yes.
It's 4 games.
Yep.
Wizards tonight.
Yep.
Timberwolves.
Yep.
At home.
At home, okay.
Clippers at home.
Yep.
In Chicago. I think they could win all those games.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly. So right now they're in a 3-game win. That would be a 7-game winning streak going into Cleveland. I could see Cleveland ending the Celtics 7-game win streak in the same way the Celtics ended theirs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's possible. Once again, I mean, we've talked off air about it. I think this Cavaliers team has an opportunity to beat this Celtics team. They could split. You know what I mean? It could be 2-2 going into the playoffs, right? Yeah. So I think this is one of those opportunities. Once again, where they're at home. Yep. Maybe Isaac Okoro is back, which brings a little something different. Maybe Max Strus is back by that time, which brings a little something extra to that team.
Sure.
And, you know, we don't know about KP. Hopefully, you know, he's obviously practicing with the main Celtics as well and doing those, you know, impromptu practices because he's supposedly somewhere near close.
Right.
Somewhere near close. But, yeah, I could see that.
All right. Well, what do you got for me? We talking point guards or what? I know this is your favorite topic on earth.
So we got to talk about Westbrook, man. Of course, Westbrook now has 200 triple doubles in his NBA career. Shout out to Russell Westbrook. You know he's from where I'm from. Yep. I ain't got to say too much about that. But Travis, I really brought this up because I want to know where does he rank amongst your top point guards all time?
Okay. I have him 4th all time. I have Steph number 1. I have Magic number 2, although Magic's my favorite player of all time, even over Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Even over Michael Jordan. I still have Steph number 1 on the point guard list.
Yep.
So I'll go Magic 2. I can't not have Isaiah Thomas, Pistons Isaiah Thomas, because he's a champion. Yep. He was the best player on a championship team. I was there. I got to watch him. With all due respect to people of a certain age, I did not watch the Big O. I didn't see him. He's great. He belongs. He could be number one on your list. I'm not knocking anyone for it. On my list, I'm just going with what I watched. I got Russell Westbrook right after Isaiah Thomas.
So IT and then
he passed the Big O.
And then Big O. I mean, excuse me, and Westbrook at 4.
Yes. Westbrook passed the Big O. Look, triple doubles.
You're tripping. I got we ask are they tripping all the time? No. You're tripping right now. 4th all time.
I got him 4th all time.
4th all time.
Let me make it clear for you, okay?
So you got 3 champions there.
Yeah,
and then Westbrook.
Here's why. As I look at John Stockton,
Go ahead.
John Stockton, he didn't win a title.
Okay.
Now I'm not getting into the titles thing.
Okay.
Because there are point guards of championship teams who belong in this conversation that I have lower. So I'm not end all be all the title. But what I'm saying, what this guy has done statistically, the impact he's had on the game, Russell Westbrook I'm talking about, the impact he's had on the game.
Yes.
How he's changed the game for guards, triple doubles, the things he does. 200, you said 200 career triple doubles.
200
career. Insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's insane.
You're right.
And I'm not sure anyone's ever even going to catch that. This might be one of those Jerry Rice stats that we look back and we're like, is anyone going to get close to Rice? No. I mean, I think if you're taking him from a pool of great point guards who have not won titles, I would rather have Russell Westbrook.
Steph 1.
Okay, we agree.
Magic 2.
No disconnect between you and I.
Big O is 3, bro.
Okay,
I don't care about you saying, I didn't watch it, blah, blah, blah.
No
whatever.
No problem.
Big O's 3.
Fine.
Stockton. All-time leader in assists. All-time leader in steals. That's what my point guard is supposed to do. Head of the defense. Head of the offense.
Let's stay on this debate then.
Before you get let me finish my list. IT, Zeke, 5.
You have Stockton over Zeke?
Yes, 5. CP3 is 6. And then that's when I start to get into is it Westbrook or Nash, Westbrook or Kidd? Okay. I'll probably give Westbrook the nod over those two today. You ask me tomorrow, I might feel a little bit different. But Westbrook is at most the 7th best point guard in NBA history. At most.
I'm so disgusted with the CP3 take. Let me go back.
Go ahead.
To Stockton.
Start with Stockton.
In fact, I can put them all in a nice little bag for you here.
Go ahead.
We're here at Christmas. I'll gift wrap this for you.
Go ahead. Do it.
Stockton. CP3.
Yeah.
Nash.
Yeah.
They would all get bodied by this guy.
Bro, stop it.
This guy's physicality.
And he's guarding them?
His tenaciousness.
And he's guarding them?
Yes.
No, he wasn't.
I will take Russell Westbrook against Stockton, CP3, or Nash. I don't think they got enough body for him. Now, Jason Kidd is unique, but Jason Kidd doesn't have the scoring ability of a Russell Westbrook. A Russell Westbrook, not the best shooter. Neither one of them were, him nor Jason Kidd. But a Russell Westbrook offensively can take over a game, going to the cup, getting the hoop and the harm, drawing contact, getting boards, starting the break, dishing. This guy is an animal for any of the people you name. Stockton couldn't do nothing with that. There's no way. CP3 can't do anything with that. Steve Nash can't do anything with that. He's bodying them. He's out athleticing all of them. The only one maybe I'll give you is Kidd, and I just don't think Kidd can score like Westbrook.
I hear all of that, but like we're talking about 200 triple doubles, which won't get touched in our lifetime, right?
I don't think so.
It probably won't ever get touched in our lifetime. But you're talking about Stockton's assist numbers. You're talking about the steals numbers. Like those aren't probably ever getting touched either.
Facts.
So we're talking about, like I said, something that you want to do.
Take your time.
Hold on, you gotta be upset right now.
Take your time.
He ain't having Kevin Durant and a James Harden. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
That's my whole thing. Westbrook, you had 2 other MVPs.
Yeah.
And you didn't get it done. Matter of fact, you spun back and had another MVP again. You spun back with Harden and didn't get it done. CP3 got to him farther than you did later on in his career.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Chris Paul has to be up there because of that reason. And honestly, I've seen CP, if he didn't get hurt, almost took down a giant with Harden.
Yeah, but almost doesn't count.
Right. But Westbrook never got close.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think I'm
the
going
reason
off
that they
of
lost
ability.
that finals, the reason that they lost that finals with the Thunder against the Heat was because Westbrook was too young to win the finals.
Well, they all were too young. He was too young. KD was too young.
showed up to the moment.
He did.
Harden
I'm just saying
showed up to the moment.
James Harden wasn't even like he
wasn't
even
that yet.
Yeah,
he wasn't
They
that
were
yet,
all
but he
too
showed
young.
up to the
I can't
moment.
put that on Westbrook.
Nah, bro. I'm just saying. Like we were talking about guys who haven't won and all this other stuff, and I mean, really, he forced a lot of guys out. A lot of these other dudes that we are talking about, everybody want to play with, right? Every single time.
He's almost too reckless for his own good.
Right. Guys have been like, I don't know if I want to play with Westbrook. You feel me? And they, going to say all the great things. Oh, I love him, blah, blah, blah. Paul George had one of his greatest seasons of all time with Westbrook, I give him credit for some things, right? And KD even won the MVP with Westbrook, right? So there are some things that he does really highly. And when we're nitpicking, you know what I mean? Oh, who's the best, blah, blah, blah. Because that's what it really is. It's opinion.
For sure.
Nitpicking. I just can't call him a top 5 point guard when a point guard is supposed to be a dude that everybody loves to play with no matter
Leadership,
what.
For sure. He's
Paul,
lacking there. I can't defend any of that.
Chris Paul has been that. Stockton has been that. IT has been that. Nash Kid, blah, blah, blah,
They've
whatever.
all been that.
They've all been that.
Except him.
And he hasn't really always been that.
I'm going on ability. I'm going on if I have all these guys in
I hear your ability, but I'm saying winning, bro. And winning is being a part of a team. And being a point guard is being the ultimate team guy. That's how I see it. I see it as the old school thing.
Now, to be fair, that's where I knock him. That's where everyone knocks him.
Yeah.
I can't argue that point of it. But what I'm telling you in pure basketball, if I'm looking at Stockton, CP3, Nash, Westbrook, all in their prime, I don't think any of those other dudes can stop him. Where I can't disagree with you is the leadership, the intangibles, what he brings to the table, who likes being on his team. He gets failing grades and all of that. But ability, pure basketball on the court, we're playing pickup, we're rolling it out. That dude should be, in my opinion, higher on your all-time list than he is. But I'll tell you this. I have him top 5.
Yeah.
You have him top 10.
Yeah.
So we're not, it's not like, we're not mountains apart.
We're not
here.
mountains apart. My whole thing that it comes down to, right, is if we made an all-time team and we got Kobe, we got Bron, we got...
I'll take Westbrook.
Jordan, whatever. I'm not putting him on the team with all of those dudes because I know he ain't slicing and passing the ball. He's going to go get him. I already got go get him guys that are better. I got a Kobe. I got a Jordan. I got a Bron. They go get it the best. So I need you to be a point guard. And we're ranking point guards, right? And I understand, okay, if we're saying better player, maybe I think about it a little differently. But we're talking how we rank him as a point guard.
Sure, that's fair.
And I think as a point guard, yes, there are some liberties that can be taken because Steph is less of a traditional point guard than Magic is.
Yes.
But then, in that sense, I take the better player.
Right.
But with Westbrook, it's kind of like when you get further down the list and there's some discrepancies, I'm going to give that more. I just think Curry is that much better than Magic was as a player as a whole that I can say, okay, yeah, he's a better player, so he's a better point guard.
By the way, I wrote these names down while we were arguing just as like honorable mention of the old school because you have Big O. Where was Big O on your list? 4?
He's 3.
3, okay.
He's the third best point
guard. So look,
guard.
I wrote these down. You tell me if I'm tripping and missing anyone. So you said Big O, Jerry West, Bob Cousy, Walt Frazier, Tiny Archibald, Pistol Pete, all in that point guard world as well. So, listen, I mean, you can't go wrong with top 5, top 10 for any of these guys we're saying. I do like, even though we disagree on Russell Westbrook's place within it, both of us acknowledge he is, without argument, top 10.
Oh, definitely.
Now, you can
I don't want
argue,
that to be misconstrued. This man is amazing.
Top 10. Top 10.
Yeah.
You can argue top 5, which is what I'm doing.
Right.
What I would like to do, Ountae, if possible, is get the people's opinion.
Okay.
Can we do a poll? Can we get people to vote? Is Russell Westbrook, yes or no, a top 5 point guard of all time, or is he top 10? Or do some of you have him out of your top 10, period? Because I promise you this, me and Ountae both will team up and argue with you over that. I mean, we will be tag team champions of the world against you if you feel like this guy with 200 career triple doubles doesn't belong in the top 10. Okay, shame on you if you vote that.
Yeah.
I think the right answer is top 10.
And a former league MVP.
Yes. I just argue top 5 because I would take his athleticism, what he brings to the game in terms of explosiveness, the scoring, the rebounding, the assist, the energy, the size he has. Yep. I would take all that over all those dudes we talked about, except Steph, Magic, and Zeke.
Yeah.
And did you also, time out.
Okay.
Let's table Russell Westbrook for a second.
Okay.
Did you say CP3 over Isaiah Thomas? Did you say that?
No. I said
who'd you have CP3 over other than Westbrook? It was egregious.
No,
it was unruly.
Maybe Nash or Kidd.
Where's CP? Okay.
Maybe Nash or Kidd.
Give me your list one more time.
So I got Steph 1, Magic 2, Big O 3, Stockton 4, IT 5, CP 6, and then the range that I have Westbrook in is with that Nash Kidd,
7 to 10.
7
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
9.
I don't have a problem with your CP3 placement. Your Stockton placement is absurd. It's absurd.
Smoke.
Your Stockton placement is absurd.
Hey,
I mean, how do you put him over Isaiah Thomas?
That's a topic for another
Tell
day.
Me.
It's a topic for another day.
Just tell me.
It's a topic for another day.
But how though?
Because he ain't have a team like how Zeke
he
had
just
a
had
team.
Karl Malone.
Right, exactly. It was him and Karl Malone out there in Utah. Nobody cared about Utah, blah, 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 basketball. Who cares?
So you're impressed more with what he built in Utah, where you don't feel like Isaiah was a piece.
Joe Dumars, freaking Rodman, and freaking
Chuck Daly
Bill
coaching.
Laimbeer.
Yeah.
Like, come on, what are we talking about?
So you feel like Isaiah was a very important piece in a championship team where Stockton built something with Karl Malone, even though they never won.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Yeah,
and once again,
I disagree.
And just the respect that he commanded around the league. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about Stockton too. Like everybody, GP certified him. You know what I'm saying? Gary Payton certified him. So all I got to hear from a Oakland, you know what I mean, from a California dude certifying him, saying he's the real deal.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Then he the real deal. So that's why I'm rocking too. But also, once again, all-time assist leader, all-time steals leader.
Facts.
And no one's even close.
Facts.
You're the real deal.
Hey, listen, I mean, if you want to hear more barbershop talk, arguing style between me and Ountae, keep it locked here to hold my banner. But if you want the latest on the Patriots and the NFL, Drake May needs help. Help me, please. We discuss how he can get it quick on Nesson's Football Podcast, Foxborough Rush. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, let's do it. Wicked or kick it, baby.
Yes, sir.
This is where we judge NBA player drip. We usually make fun of them, but every now and again we go, that's wicked. What we got, bro?
So first, we got an old-fashioned fit. Look, a guy that I was telling you about already.
Throwback.
We were just talking about him. Dennis Rodman. What do you think of this fit, Travis?
This is a throwback. Greg, if we can get this full. I mean, this just warms my heart. First of all, the sweater is very Chicago Bulls, right? I mean, when I see that black, that red, that white, I just hear the and now from North Carolina at 6'6", shooting guard Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Then the pants. This is so 90s.
Yeah.
Like this is just 90s as it gets. I love everything about it. The chain, the pants, the Bulls sweater colors. This is fantastic. And it's Dennis Rodman. You got to go wicked here, my friend.
Yeah, you're right. You got to go wicked on this Dennis Rodman fit. It looks like he was back in the 90s, and you know exactly what he was doing. He woke up next to Carmen Electra. Did a little wake and bake.
Wake and bake!
And he walked out and he strolled out to the arena or wherever he was going. He had the freaking pajama pants on. He just grabbed it, and he grabbed whatever shirt he had on with the diamonds across. And then he got the sunglasses on with the beanie. He was just grabbing whatever. He was just like, hold on, let me cover them eyes real quick with them sunglasses.
Somebody got some Visine.
This looks like he had a fun night the night before. That's exactly what this looks like. And knowing the man that Dennis Rodman was, he definitely had a fun night. So yeah, I'm gonna say Wicked just for me assuming that he had a great night the night before. Is that fair?
That is more than fair, and we could guarantee that he did. Who's next?
Next, we got another player,
Who?
SGA, a current player.
What the hell is
now,
this?
What do you think of this from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? And also, by the way, shout out League Fits for all these photos.
Yeah, shout out League Fits, man. We appreciate y'all. We give you props every time, too. Greg, take this fool. What in the hell is this SGA? I mean, I hope you don't think you sneaking up on somebody. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you shiny and noisy as hell. You know them pants make noise. Look at him. That is a disco ball. He is wearing a disco ball. Them pants are shiny, so if you turn off the lights, you're still going to see them. You can't surprise anyone. That is shining. And then when he walks, you know damn well they noisy. He can't sneak up on you. Either way, you shining too much or you're noisy. I can't do it. SGA, I'm sorry, man. Like, I love your game. I think you could be the MVP if it's not Tatum of this league. But my God, this has to be kicked. I'm kicking this all the way back to the 70s, to the 60s, when it was disco. Because that's where those pants belong.
You know what I thought when I saw this fit? I was actually, you know what happened to me? I was on a video game with my boy. And
were you playing 2K?
Yeah. What were we playing? We were playing 2K, I think. And he's a Thunder fan. He goes, hey, I just want you to know, I don't approve of this SGA fit that I saw. And I was like, what do you got on? He was like, hey, just know I don't approve. And I was like, all right, bro. So then I go to my phone, go to League Fits, go to OKC's Twitter account, and I'm like, let me see what he got on. And I immediately say, hey, bro, we need to get on Fortnite with him because it looks like he got hit by one of them boogie bombs. That they got in the game, bro. Because you said disco, and that's exactly where my mind went to. Like, he's finna do the dance. He's finna what's the old fashioned dance that they used to do where they put their hand across with the pointing and put the cross across their body. He's got this tight Volvo NASCAR F1 shirt on.
Volvo.
With these jeans that look like disco pants, like Travis told y'all, silver and shining. And then he's got the Chucks on because he's sponsored by Converse.
Oh, I didn't even see the Chucks.
It's just a terrible fit, bro.
Yeah, this is
he's got a tight
fit.
Top and a baggy bottom.
Put that fit on.
And I understand that they're playing small ball right now. So he's probably borrowing a couple of shirts from his small teammates in honor of them.
Why is that shirt so young?
But
Greg, get his shirt.
It's too tiny, bro. I can't rock with this one.
I can see his abs through his...
This one's kick it. This one's a 1.8 out of 10 for the year that Fortnite came out.
I can see what he had for lunch through that shirt. That shirt is so tight I can see his heartbeat. Awful. Who's next?
All right, next we got Paul George. What do you think of this fit from PG?
Whoa, that's Paul George. Bro, yeah. I swear. Greg, take this fool. I'm not trying to be funny. I swear for a second, I thought that was Marvin Gaye. I thought that was Brother Marv.
Was a Marvin Gaye.
Doesn't this look like a Marvin Gaye? Oh, my goodness. My man, this is... Hey, we said SGA's the 70s. This is actually the 70s right here. Like, he looked like he was singing... He's not Marvin Gaye, but he was, like, in the studio. Like, he was singing back of... Keep on dancing.
Hey. Woo. Hey.
Baby, got to give it up. That was Paul George. He was in the background with the vocals. Yeah. That's what this outfit is. I'm going to go Wicked here. Yeah. I am. I like this. This is a nice summer breeze. Like he's just going on a walk. He's got a 70s look, like an R&B singer. I kind of dig it. You know he hurt his knee again out there.
Yeah, he did, and that leads me to this. What's going on? Tell me what's going on.
Marvin, Brother Marv.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's going on with this?
Yeah, what's going on,
What's going on with his health? What's going on with this fit?
Facts.
And what's going on with the 76ers?
Facts.
I don't know. I do like this fit, and I can't lie. I'm with you. I like this fit a lot. I just don't like the ruffles that it looks like he's got on the sweater vest that he has on, bro. Why has it got ruffles like Prince?
Ruffles?
Like I'm not rocking with that part. You know what I mean? But otherwise, bro, I like this fit. He's a swaggy guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let him rock, bro. I'm gonna give this one like a 7.2 out of 10.
When you say, why you got ruffled?
Yeah, but
Look at the ruffles. Greg does such a great job taking these.
Does.
Like anything we bring up, he will zoom in and we will make fun of it even harder.
Yeah,
and we appreciate his
surely
hard
do.
work. Hey, from Simone Biles to Caitlin Clark to all the top stories in sports, we've got you covered on Nesson's Women in Sports podcast, Respect Her Game. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else you get your podcasts. All right, Ountae, as you know, I love Wicked or Kick It.
Yep.
I love Guessing 7. I love all the things we do, all the segments we do on this show. But my favorite one is the League Pass game. Which game are we watching from League Pass?
Yeah, that's.
I got to tell you.
Oh, well, you got to
go
me.
Mavs and Nuggets. I got to do it because listen, this is the West. I know we're all focused on what the Celtics are doing here in the East and the battles between. We started the show battles between the Celtics and the Cavs, and I think you used the word supremacy, East supremacy, and all that. Hey, man. Someone's got to win the West, too.
Yeah.
These are two teams that can do it, Ountae.
Yeah.
It's in Denver. Mavs are the Mavs. I mean, if you told me either one of these teams, Mavs are back in the finals or the Nuggets get back to the finals, I would say, yeah, sounds about right. So now you get them playing each other tonight. I'm all over this game.
First of all, I have two things to say about that. First thing is, no Luka. He hurt his wrist.
Yeah.
So I'm probably not as interested in this game as I would be, especially with the news that I guess the Nuggets really tried to get up to go get Luka to pair him with Jokic back in Luka's draft. So, you know, I would have loved to see those two European guys play against each other.
Can you imagine?
But we're not going to get that, so I'm a little turned off of that game.
Okay.
Also, Travis, that is not a League Pass game.
Oh, come on.
Stop doing this,
This again
bro.
with my cable package?
That is a national game. Why do you keep doing this to us, bro?
I always pick the best matchup. You're like, bro.
It's a national game. I want people to know which games they should watch on League Pass. Now, you usually listen to me. You let me produce. So can you just let me produce and pick a League Pass game?
Yo, I swear to God, every week, he's like, yo, what League Pass game you going to watch tonight? And I name the main one that's on prime time. He's like,
bro.
And then I still leave it in the show.
It's crazy. All right. Now,
Who's
let
your
me
game?
tell you about my game.
I mean,
all right.
you're all
so
in
your
my
game
cable
is
package.
Your game is tonight, Friday night game. I'm gonna give you a Saturday night game so that you have some coverage over the weekend.
Right.
It's another Western Conference matchup: Warriors at Spurs. Now, I'm over here sitting here again saying, I don't know if a star is going to be in this game. So once again, you got to pay attention to that for yourself.
Right.
Wemby has been missing games. He's day to day. I have no idea if he's going to play in this game or not. But if he does play, you're going to get the greatest point guard of all time, which we laid out for you. A greatest shooter, a unicorn in his own right.
Facts.
With Steph Curry.
Facts.
Versus the alien.
Facts.
Victor Wembanyama. Woo. And then on top of that, just sprinkle a little animosity in there with Chris Paul playing against the Warriors, who were just so rude to him on the way out. They treated him like he was washed and old and not useful. Yeah. So he's going to be in there, the petty king that he is, trying to do everything that he can to help the Spurs win this game. Yep. So I would love to see this game on Saturday. If you have some time before you go out and get your little drinky drink.
A little drinky drink.
You can watch a little Spurs against Warriors action.
Just watch it with Ountae, because apparently my cable package is not correct, according to him. We appreciate you as always, my friend. And look, I want to end the show here thanking you all. Ountae and I started the show by telling you we were at the Tradition. We had the time of our lives down at the Sports Museum. We partied with D. Brown, talked to people, and I was actually walking up to people in the media, former athletes, just peers. I'm walking up to introduce myself and to say, hey, I'm a big fan of your work, whatever. As I walk up and I'm doing that, they are saying back to me, no, I know who you are. I'm a big fan of yours as well. What? My mind was blown the entire night, and it's because of you. I tell you all the time, this show's growing. Our downloads are up. The likes are up. The views are up. Please spread the word. We're trying to grow. We want to grow together. If you like the show, let people know. People that love ball tell them about Hold My Banner. You got to check the show out that Nesson's doing. Let's grow together. I just want to thank you all. It was so humbling to have people recognize me and know who I was and take a picture with me as I'm telling them I'm a fan of you, I'm a fan of yours. You're doing great work at Nesson. That was amazing to me. I'm so humbled by it. I'm so happy to be here in Boston with you all, and I hope Hold My Banner lives forever. For Travis Thomas and Ountae Campbell, we thank you as always. Hold My Banner. It's a wrap. Till next time when we ask you to hold it again. Peace out.